Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and we're here with something really fun, different, special in the workshop. It's a 1949 MGTC, and for some brake work and oil change and just a tune-up. As drum brakes all around, they're not self-adjusting, and well, the car also tends to sit a bit. At the moment, took it for a test drive, and it pulls to the right. Pretty much always pulls to the right, and especially when you hit the brakes, it pulls to the right pretty badly. So I've just raised up the front. We'll start having a look here. I have all new wheel cylinders and flexi hoses as well. So hopefully by changing that and adjusting everything, we can get this work. But I've just raised up the two front wheels. So let's see if we can feel if the right or left feel like they're stuck on. It's been sitting overnight, so there shouldn't be any built-up pressure in the system. And that way we can see where we're starting up. But let's do that, and then we'll dig into the brakes. So this side rolls pretty nicely. Just a slight drag. Also, after I drove, this felt pretty hot, and yeah, I can barely turn that. So I think we'll start on this side. I've already knocked loose the center spinner when the car is on the ground, so this is just on there loosely now. So I'll remove that, remove the wheel, and then we will have a look at the drum brakes. There are two little adjusters here that you loosen to get the drum off. So we'll have a look at all that and see if we can figure out what's going on, if it's just bad wheel cylinders or maybe it's just adjustment. But since the customer supplied all those parts, we're going to replace them. Here's a good diagram of the adjuster. So they're handed. So one of them you turn anti-clockwise and one of them you turn clockwise. That is to push the brake shoes out. So I'm going to do the opposite now and get the brake shoes to go in, so that we can hopefully get this cover off, or not the cover off, just get the drum off. But let me set you guys up in a bit of a tripod and some lights, and we'll see if those adjusters move and if we can get all this off. So now to get the drum off, there are some nuts here, and then there are two set screws. So let's see if they're on there tight or, oh, not too bad. So this car was restored about 50 years ago, actually. I believe he said he started in 1975, and it was on the road in 1980. It was just a restoration he did back then. The man who owns it has restored some really nice cars. I've seen an XK120 he restored and judged it once in a concourse, and that was really nice. That seems to be a little smaller for some reason. Get the other ones off, and then see if we can get another tool onto there. With those removed, there are two screws here, and I'm just guessing that they'll be stuck on there pretty well. So I have an impact screwdriver. Oh no, that wasn't actually. That was completely loose. Oh. That was just a guess. But I mean, after being restored, this car has, I think it's done a bit of miles, but it's always been inside. So, oh no, that one's tight. Okay. There we go. And now it's those adjusters, but the problem is I'm not sure how much they're going to actually move the shoes back, because it's so stuck that the issue could also be, well, probably the wheel cylinder that is stuck. But we'll give it a shot. Okay, that felt looser, so did that one, even though I took it the wrong way. Let's see. But that feels pretty loose. It's an eccentric sort of cam. And I think we'll have to give it some gentle love taps here. Oh, it's moving now at least. Okay. If there is any lip, it will always catch in the end, and I don't have any hardware, so I want to be really careful. There we go. Not sure how well that's showing up. You can see it's wet in here, so it's definitely leaked. You can see the paint here. So the car probably sat for a bit and it leaked down here. So we'll see how the shoes are. Usually, I mean, these aren't any high precision brakes. There's plenty of meat left. We could probably, and they're not really soaked. So it seems like it's a run down here. We could probably soak those in some brake clean and clean those up. But I'm going to bring you guys in for a closer look here. I'll show you a tip how you can have a look inside wheel cylinders and usually see if they're bad or not. So you pull that back and there should be no wetness there. And yeah, ton of wetness there as well. So the flexi goes to here. So we'll try and get that off, and then I can feel these two bolts on the back holding the brake shoe on, and we'll probably just have to loosen the spring. But sometimes you can just sort of lever them out of the way and still get that out. But I'm going to check the new ones I have, make sure that they're the same, and then start loosening brake line here and getting all of this off. Like always, when removing brake lines, you have to be really careful so that nothing gets stuck here, so that you move the nipple, that you see that it doesn't move the line. So I sprayed a bit of penetrating fluid on here, move this back and forth a few times. As is normal usually with wheel cylinders and drum brakes, they're put in from this side towards there. So at least what I figured out is need to remove the line from here first and then pull the wheel cylinder out with the line. At least I think that would be the easiest way. Now I'll continue loosening it here. There's a big lock nut there on that line, and then we can put the new cylinder on and also a new flexi. I have the line loose here, so let's see if we just give this a bit of a knock. Seems it's coming loose. I have loosened the bolts on the back of it. Seeing if we can't, yeah, there we go. Can do this without loosening that spring. And here we go. The offending item's been leaking. So I think I'll do the same thing on the other one. On the bench, I'll attach the hose, pull through here. But now I'm just going to set up a tray underneath, and I'll clean all of this off with some brake clean. And that's one thing, always be careful with brake dust, because it's, it's not good for you. But on this side, it's just been sticky. So I haven't really been able to inhale any of it. But I'll clean all this up, get the new wheel cylinder, we'll put that in place, and then just move on to the other side. Here we have a new wheel cylinder, and I put a new hose on. The kit did not come with a copper washer there, so I just grabbed a new copper washer so it seals up there. I was looking at it for a while thinking there must be one, and I checked the old ones had them. It comes with new hardware as well, so it's nice. Pistons are pretty far out, but they move freely with my fingers, so that's good. And if you're wondering about wheel cylinders, if you only worked on modern cars, you've probably never seen drum brakes. Works pretty simply. This fluid goes in here, two little pistons push out, the shoes move out, touch the drum, and you have brakes, hopefully. So now I want to try and do this without removing that spring. See if it's even possible. Maybe not. Well, we'll try. Okay, one side. Pretty good. Let's just see if we can line up the rear holes. Oh yeah, they're lining up. Cool. Let me secure this in. Then secure up that brake hose. I'll move all the exact same thing on the other side, unless I find something extraordinarily bad on that side. I won't show you that, and then we'll move on to the rear before bleeding up the system. This side's all done, ready to put the drum back on. New hose as well. I just want to show you what the adjusters do. So have a look here. You see that the brake shoe is moving out? And there it moves in. So I'm going to set the adjusters to all the way in, of course. Put that on, and then I believe the instructions were I'll have to double check something like adjust them out till they're tight and then quarter turn in. It was something like that. I'll have to double check, but we'll do that procedure a little bit later once I've done the other sides as well, and then we'll do the rears. Things were going really well up front, I thought, and when I put this all on, I couldn't really turn it, but I was thinking I must have gotten the adjusters wrong, so I went on, did the other side, same thing, couldn't turn it. Well, it could turn a little bit, but it was making a weird scraping sound. And let me insert a picture of the wheel cylinder. You can see the difference between the old and the new one of the distance between the mounting holes and the top of it. So I had to take it all apart again. I'm going to hook up the flexi here. Took it to a bench grinder and ground up the top. And now, let's see if I can do this one-handed. If I put the drum back on, 1 second, I'm just going to put that drum on. Push the drum on now. And if I have it pushed in, you see, it will spin freely without doing anything. So I have to do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll move on to the rest. The rears were a bit more straightforward because I didn't have to grind anything off the wheel cylinders. All fits well. Done both sides. I'm just going to clean up a little bit around here. I also replaced the hose, you see, all the way in there. That went really well also. So I'm going to put the drums back on, then we can adjust everything and start bleeding. So now it's time to adjust them. There are 2 adjusters per brake side, and the instructions say to loosen them off all the way and then tighten them, you see, till it stopped. And stopped, and then just go back a little bit so there's no drag. And do the same on the rear. That stops it. There we go, that's no drag. Now I'm going to get my assistant and we're going to bleed the brakes. Down.
Down.
And up.
Up.
And down.
Down.
Okay, seeing fluid. And up.
Up.
And down.
Down.
And up.
Up.
And down.
Down.
And up. And down.
Down.
And up.
Up.
In case you're wondering, you fill the brake fluid here, the floorboard right below the pedals, basically in front of the pedals. You just move this aside, and there's Phil, and we are at a good level now. So I'm gonna put the cap back on, put the floor mats on, and then we'll go for a test drive. Sitting here warming up a little bit. It has a slight exhaust leak. You can actually see some right there. It's on the manifold, so I'll have to fix that as well. And the idle's a little low, but we'll have a look if that is just a timing issue or something else. I read through the manual, seems to be like they're just timing the TDC, and then that the advanced weights do everything else. But we'll have a look at the points and all that. But if you guys want to, that will be in a separate video. But let's go for a little quick drive and just see what the brakes feel like before. Because before, they just pulled to the right and you basically almost went into the ditch. This, of course, has an unsynchronized first gear. But other than that, it should have synchros. But we'll shift it a bit slowly. And now, got a straight bit of road here. Let's just see. Slightly to the right still, but not as bad as before. Not sure if I mentioned, but this of course is a 1949 TC, so it's part of the T series of MG, so it's pretty much a pre-war design. They just continued making after the war because people liked them. So you're basically driving 1930s technology. And it's been sitting for a while, so it does have flat spots in the tires. I can feel that. But let's just try again with the brakes. I pulled straight there. And we're rolling backwards, so they're not binding. There we go. Into third. And into fourth. Hope you guys can hear me from all the wind noise. I have a little wind thing on the mic, but alright, let us try with the brakes again. I think it's actually pretty good. There we go. I almost forgot, but no, it's not that often I drive, these old things, but they're a lot of fun. I think it's a very, very good looking car. And a slight straight bit of road here again. Pulls dead straight. That's good. Now I'm not going to use the brakes on the way back. I just want to make sure that none of the drums are feeling hot. So we'll drive a bit further and then we'll turn around up here. Lovely. On the way back, I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see the bonnet and the big headlights and everything. It's quite a sight. Once again, pulls really straight. We'll turn around here and then I'll turn you guys around as well so you can see the view out the bonnet. It's actually really enjoyable to drive, and the owner has ordered new tires for it, so I think once you get the bounciness off it, it really is a nice car to drive. It's not something I would like to drive too fast in, but now it's much better where you actually feel that the brakes work and that it's not pulling right or left. So I think I seem to got the adjustment right on the first try, which isn't bad at all. For those wondering, it has about 50.5 horsepower, which I think that's not bad for the 40s. I don't know what it weighs, but pretty much nothing, I think. A lovely car on one of these small country lanes up here around my house. So it feels pretty good. I might have a small just feel at the adjustments one more time. I had one brake drum that felt tiny bit warmer than the other one, but once again, that could also just wear in again where the new positions are and everything. So I'm in a little bit of a hurry. Well, I mean, the kids are home alone, so I wouldn't want to be away for too long, but probably take a drive another day and feel again. But I think pretty much we have it sorted and it's running nicely. Everything is good after the oil change as well. But let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a follow-up video on the exhaust leak and possibly getting it running a little bit better. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. Until next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.